Like, come on, like besides Extra Gravy, right? And Extra Gravy, literally, they started like 3 months before us. So we've been the only 2 podcasts in a city that has how much hip hop? 2 podcasts for the last 7 years, like consistently. Yeah. That's acceptable. It's actually embarrassing.
Sheesh.
Compared to like, let's say like a New York City that has just a little bit less population in it. It's not like they have way like 10 times the amount of people of Toronto. We have what, supposed to be 6 million people when you put the whole GTHA together.
So you mean there's not enough hip hop podcasts, or like not enough hip hop podcasts that are really about hip hop?
No, there's not enough hip hop podcasts.
Like in general. Oh, really? Eh? I thought it was gonna be a ton, but it was just gonna be like show me your swag purse and stuff.
No.
Okay.
No, there's a lack of it, bro, because they'll start it and then they'll stop.
Well, it's probably hard, to start a podcast too, to get people to tune in and stuff like that. So
yeah, and plus when people start realizing, oh, that money isn't coming in right away. Oh, yeah. Like I'm not gonna get paid tomorrow because I turned on a microphone. Like, okay, I don't think I want to do this anymore. Like, no. It's a process. You know what I'm saying? Let me make sure I got everything loaded up here. Got my questions loaded. Where's my videos going? Let's start with some music, man. I like doing this because I interview a lot of Toronto rappers.
Okay.
But when I get to interview people outside of Toronto, I think the conversation gets a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? So let's start off with some music and then we'll get into this.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Let's see what. Bro, that right there?
Thanks.
That's a vibe right there, man. Listen, man, we're about to get into it. It's your boy Friday Ricky Dread here with another interview for your head top. Before we get into this, I want to salute the sponsors. You know what I'm saying? Big salute to my sponsors. Diamond Club, they got deliveries all over the GTA. You can find them on their Instagram page, Diamond Club _Canada, or you can find them on the 7 Days of Weed website. Oh, also deliveries across Canada too, right? So, and make sure to tell them that the boy Friday Ricky Dread sent you. They'll give you a little discount. Sane. But yo, I'm glad to get this interview going on here, this conversation, right? I've been doing some research on you, right? And I'm surprised that you weren't completely on my radar, fam, especially coming from where you come from. And, I'm over here in Toronto, but a lot of people know I'm an import. You know what I'm saying? I come from Quebec.
Yeah.
Right. And it's unique because Quebec is mostly a Francophone place. However, with you have the most views out of all the rappers, Francophone or English.
Well, I have some great views. I'm not gonna lie. And
listen, don't get modest with me. But yeah. Let's get into it. With no further ado, we have MINDFLIP in the motherfucking building.
Before I got paid, now the lux is ours. Yeah, I'm shining like the sun, you blooming like a flower. Let's go now.
So you're over here in Toronto, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You're on a trip right now. How's the trip so far? And like, what's the reason for the trip? Like, besides coming to see me?
Well, trip is fire. I was just with the Moment Network earlier today. Some really great people. We went out. We went to the wing spot. We went by the water. We talked. We hang out. It was great. So I had a great time. I came by train. Always easy with the train. So
yeah. So now you've been putting out some music, and I mentioned the views, right? Like the amount of views that you got. But your song "Run My Shit" just went gold.
Yeah, and well, it actually went gold a couple of months ago, and I think it's gonna be platinum by the end of the year for sure.
Bro, how did that feel, fam? Like, remember, we're still Canadian artists or Canadians.
Yes.
So to get those accolades, it's not like there's 100 Canadian rappers running around with gold plaques, bro.
True. Well, to be honest, it feels amazing because I actually wrote that record while I was working delivery jobs. So I literally wrote the lyrics when I was like at the storage, filling up the van, doing the deliveries, and then the song blew up. And it was crazy because like it was nothing like the songs that were having traction at the time.
Right.
It sounds like some early 2000 hip hop. And it really has like a hip hop element, but it did super well in like the hot hits playlist and stuff like that on Spotify. And like, who would have thought, because it's hip hop and it wasn't a trap record or any sort of things like that, So I'm blessed.
Now, also with you, right? And we're going to get into your history of where you moved around from and stuff like that, right? But I hear an accent. So you speak French. You're Francophone who can speak English.
Exactly. French is my first language.
But French is your first language.
Exactly.
So before we get into the history, why did you choose to go and rap in English instead of French, coming from Quebec?
Okay, so I never thought I was gonna do rap in my life, but like when I first like recorded a rap, I literally recorded at the same time that I wrote it. I was in Germany, and I was doing some meditations to find my higher purpose. And I woke up a morning and I just downloaded the beat on Newground, opened up GarageBand and recorded the track from my MacBook speakers. And then at the time I was hanging out, like I was in Germany in the first place because my father was working for NATO. He was a military. So I was hanging out with a lot of American kids on the military base. So then I was speaking a lot of English. So English was just on my mind all the time. And when it comes to music, I had listened to so much Anglophone music that it just felt more intuitive. And I think it sounds better. It glues to the track better. Yeah. I don't know. It just felt like it just kind of happened. So I just did not fight it.
So did you find any struggles even when you first started making music, like getting around the accent and stuff like that? Because when I hear you rap, I hear no accent, bro.
No, I don't know why, but it's like that. It's like when I get in the state of flow, like if I get really drunk and I talk to some friends at a party, sometimes I can lose my accent, you know? But it's really like when I rap, I become one with the music. And it's not only do I lose the accent, but my tone changes completely. Like even if we put like a piano that is not hip hop, just something else, I react to music a lot. Yeah. It just touches my energy. And then just like the way I express myself becomes in a musical way. Yeah. No, I dig it, bro. And you came from Halifax originally before you moved to Gatineau. I was born in Halifax, but I moved when I was 2 years old. Yeah. So I guess my subconscious must have picked up a little bit of English. But yeah, I've learned a lot of English through rap songs. Yeah. You know, so. And with your family dynamic, right? Like you got brothers and sisters, they're all in the military as well. Yeah. Yeah, my brother-in-law's in the military. My sister's in the military. My mom's not in the military though. She was a nurse, but at least there's that, you know? So. Yeah. So, like, are you the oldest of your siblings? I'm the youngest. You're the youngest, yes. Eh? So, out of all your siblings, you decide, I don't want to be in the military. Like, why? It just never really was something that was calling me, I guess. Well, I just wanted to live a life and be free. You know, that I knew I wanted to own a business. I did not know which type of business. At first, I thought I wanted to do like stock trading. Yeah. So I went to college to study economics, which I dropped because I was doing beats in my dorm. And I was just like, no, I got to go and pursue music, you know? And then, so I just knew I wanted to be free and create my own reality when I started diving into those like law of attraction stuff and meditation. But I did not know it was going to be music until it really got to the point where it was undeniable. Like I had to do it. Yeah. And even like with back in school and stuff like that, before you got into the music, like in high school, you dealt with ADHD. Yeah. As well as Terrets. Exactly. How did that affect you in school? To be honest, it's like at the elementary school, it was kind of like the worst because I had a lot of tics with my Tourette before puberty. And then with Tourette is like with puberty, it either increases or decreases. Right. And I would just like, everyone was like telling me that like it was different. It was going to be harder for me in school and all those things. So I just grew up with the mindset that like it was going to be harder for me. Right. So I just always thought it was going to be hard and harder. And then I kind of like, my state of mind suffered from that because I could not reach my full potential and I couldn't have that confidence, you know? But when I started realizing that I could literally program my own brain and that it all starts within, that's when I was like, yo, maybe I'm just not good in school because I was led to believe I was not good in school. Maybe my brain just works differently. Right. And then when I started believing that, like I had better grades in college and business than I had in Cégep actually, than I had in high school. Hold on, Cégep, because we're Ontario-based. Exactly. Network. A lot of people don't understand Cégep. That's like after high school. Exactly. Type pre-college type thing. It's after high school, and it's like I did 3 years of business there, so it was quite a big program, and I was better in school there than I was in high school. Right. And I was not using any sort of Adderall and stuff, which I was using like Ritalin in high school. But I was not using that anymore. Right. Because I was believing in the power of the mind and stuff. So then when I got to realize, it was all in my mind, really. It was all in my head. Like, obviously, like, I need to get stimulated. So if someone talks and he talks boring, like I'm gonna need to start thinking about scenarios in my mind, so that I can canalize in the music because I'm really entertained and stuff, and I can focus a lot. But it's just about finding your branch. You know, like sometimes this school system and the society led us to believe that we are lacking, but really we just work differently than the main narrative. And if we make our own narrative and our own story and our own reality, we might just fit in perfectly.
This is true. This is true. And you do talk about the power of attraction a lot, right?
Yes.
That movie or that book, The Secret, that really inspired you a lot, right? That got you into rapping.
Yeah.
So can you explain that to us?
Well, that's the thing. Like it was after high school, before I was going to college, I went for a year in Germany because that's where like my dad was posted for the military. And then I saw that movie, and I know it sounds corny, but it's like I literally saw the movie and I was like, whoa. I guess I was naive at that age. It really touched me. And then I started doing meditations, like guided meditations on YouTube. And I found some guided meditations and then I woke up a morning and I recorded a rap song. I don't know why. I don't have no clue. I just recorded a rap song out of my MacBook speaker. And when I came back to my city, my friends were bumping it in the car. So it was like, no way. I showed it to one friend and he showed it to another and they were bumping it in the cars. So they were like, you got to make more. So then when I was studying business, I made more. But at the time, I did not think it was going to be like a career.
Yeah. And your style, you have like, I was listening to some songs. I hear a little bit of 50, right? And then I hear a little bit of like J. Cole. Who were you listening to before you got into the rapping?
So here's the thing. Like before I got into rapping, I was listening to all sorts of things. Like when I made this first rap song that is not on internet anymore, after I done meditation, I was back at the time I was listening to like Juicy J and stuff. I would listen to anything like DMX because I was turned up, like would listen to anything, rock, punk, everything. And then once I started doing those rap songs that my homies were listening to, they were like, Simon, we need to show you the lyrical side of hip hop. Because what I knew from hip hop was the break beats because I used to be a b-boy.
Yeah.
So that's how I first got introduced to the culture and everything, you know, but like I did not know about like the lyrical delivery because I was such a kid that they would not put the vocals on the beat because like there was so much swearing and like talking about gang stuff. And, and then so I really got like, I got introduced to Nas, to AZ, to Rakim, to Big L, to Notorious Big, to Tupac, to the greats, you know what I'm saying? And then I just really, that's when I really realized like the rhyme patterns, the rhyme schemes and everything like that. And I got really like obsessed by doing rhyme patterns that are even with syllables in the middle and stuff. And then for a period of time, I got stuck on that. And I kind of forgot the melodic aspect of it and the music aspect of it. But then I started listening to some 50 Cent because I had listened to some 50 Cent in high school, but not the same way.
Right.
You know? And then, so I had listened to some 50 Cent and some like stuff that was more melodic. And then I've discovered Nate Dogg also. My friend showed me Nate Dogg. I was like, wow. Yeah, Nate Dogg is amazing. Like, I think Nate Dogg should be a way bigger influence on hip hop. Like, he's so good at it, like, especially for the choruses and stuff.
Yeah.
And then, then I started taking aspect from like having the melody in the pocket because 50 always had that melody. Nate Dogg always has that melody. Big L had those like slappy rhymes. Notorious Big had those like punch and stuff. And those like, I love that he had like a East Coast type of flow on a West Coast beat when he did like going back to Cali and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that was like a perfect metal to me. Like having a bouncy West Coast beat with some East Coast type of snapping bar, but having a little melody here and there, you know, to keep my musical sense. So I started like putting all those stuff in the pot, like did a mixture out of it. And then that's what did MINDFLIP basically.
That's how you came up with the style.
Yeah.
And the MINDFLIP, the name, right? Like that also comes from some really deep, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Can you break it down to me? Because I was watching in the interview and I was like, how am I going to ask him this question? Because like you got real deep right there, bro.
Yeah, well, to be honest, my friends came up with the word MINDFLIP. At first, I was just obviously doing flips because I used to be a b-boy, free runner. So I would like do standing backflips and stuff like that. So it was always a thing, you know. My friend was like, we need to incorporate the word flip. But it was at the same time that I was like, you create your reality, you know? And I was stuck on like the inside out, living inside out. Like you visualize within, you exteriorize it, and then it becomes your reality. It's not like I see what happens and I try to fit in. You see it within and then you make it happen.
Yeah.
So it all worked out. Like, and a friend of mine just went like, yo, mind flip. I remember the scene. We were chilling in a parking lot and he just was like, mind flip. And then everyone was like, yo, yeah, that makes sense. So my homies came up with it.
Mind flip. No, I mess with it, man. I mess with it.
Thanks, man.
Like your style is so hip hop, bro. And we're in this age where it's easy to just take the auto-tune route and just dumb it down a lot. Have you ever tried that and just said, no, that's not for me? Or we're just completely stuck to your guns?
Well, to be honest, sometimes I use some auto-tune, but not on the hip-hop records. Mostly on my, like let's say the one you played when we started. It's a little bit more like of a pop record.
Yeah.
On these ones, I don't mind. It just accelerates the workflow in studio. But I try not to put too much that it's only what we hear. So it's like, because I still am relatively on pitch when I sing. So at this point, I don't need to put like a ton of it. But like, I wouldn't mind sometimes for those more new school songs. It's just I'm not in tune so much with the beats on which rapper uses a lot of auto-tune. Like I love when there's a warmth around the instrumental, the beat, like not necessarily a sample, but something that almost sounds like a sample. It has either some pianos and some like strings and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like a cold pad, like and some hi-hats. It just doesn't touch me. It doesn't.
It don't hit the same.
It doesn't hit me the same personally.
Yeah.
And that's the auto-tune genre. So it's not so much that I have something against auto-tune. It's just the music that goes with it is not where I see myself flowing.
And you produce as well, right? From like our conversations, like you sound like you're very technically inclined, but you've been like working with instruments from like 11 years old. You were playing drums from 11?
From 12.
From 12?
Yes.
So is drums the only instrument you were playing from then? Or like you played a bunch of other instruments?
It was just drums. That's the thing. I kind of like tried a little bit the guitar my father had, but like I didn't know more than like 3-4 chords, and like I'd never had any like musical background, and I would not like play notes instrument. Basically, I would do rhythms, but I would be really tight with rhythm. That would just be natural, and then I guess that's why hip hop like it was really working out. You know?
Yeah.
And then eventually I realized for melody I also had it because I started playing a little bit of piano later in my life after I started doing hip hop. And then I started producing my own beats.
Okay.
Because the Everywhere We Go record, I produced it and I also mixed it. And then all the songs prior to that as well.
Wow.
Because I just didn't have the budget to purchase instrumentals at this point.
Yeah.
And then now what I do is that since I'm able to work with producers, I work with producers, but I love to get involved. So I love to suggest like, oh, I love the the chord structure from that song. I love the BPM from that other song. I love the texture from that song. Maybe we could mix it and make something and stuff like that. And that's what I love now that I can work in studio with producers. I can shape my sound and then, a lot of time I do my own samples, like in the Never Let You Down songs.
Really?
There's no samples. All the little voice in the back, it's my voice. And all the little like strings that we hear, it's the producers that done that. So yeah.
That's dope, man. That's dope. When did you realize that you started blowing up? Big salute to the sponsors, Diamond Club, with delivery all over the GTA and now all across Canada. They got the best selection of flour, edibles, and pens, and all types of goodies that you need. You can find them on their Instagram page, DiamondClub_Canada, or you can find them on the 7 Days of Weed app, as well as the Leafy Things app. Let them know that you heard about them through the We Love Hip Hop Network, and they may give you a discount. Big salute to Diamond Club. Cheer!
Well, when I was able to quit my job, when I was like, whoa, I make like 3 times the money with the music that I make at the delivery job. At some point it was that. I was like, I guess I don't need to work anymore. Like, so then that's when I realized something was happening for sure.
Yeah,
and then the labels were calling like, hey, you want to have meetings with me and stuff. So it was like, and then once after I had the labels calling, I was like, yo, I'm still working delivery job. I make 3 times the amount of money with my music that I make at the delivery. The labels want to invest in me, and I'm not even investing myself full time in the music now. I quit the job.
Yeah.
And then it's been 2 years since then, and I didn't need to work anymore.
Wow, man. Yeah. That's dope, man. I'd love to see that, like that transition from working hard, you're doing your 9 to 5, and you're working at your craft, and then your craft starts to surpass the 9 to 5.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that was dope. Always the goal. And like, Because to be honest with you, like there were seconds, and I would say like split seconds when I was driving around and I would see a house. I would be like, if I quit all this thing and this delivery to become a rapper and I would join the military, I could get a house like that now. And then just for a second, and I would be like, no. I want a waterside crib with the Ferraris. I want to make shows all around the globe. This is happening. F it.
Yeah.
Because I knew if I was gonna get into a comfortable job, I could lose my dream and just be like, oh, I'm okay with that. So let's forget about the dream. So I knew if I stayed in an uncomfortable environment, because there was no way I was gonna be a delivery guy all my life.
Right.
I had quit university in economics to make rap, not to deliver shawarma and water. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's something I keep remembering, like to put yourself in a situation where it's like you're not comfortable enough to forget about your dream.
Okay. So you're comfortable now.
Yes.
When do you feel that you're going to be uncomfortable again?
What you mean? Like,
because you're rising.
Yeah.
Right. But like, I feel like you still gotta, the hunger is still there.
Oh yeah. Oh, we still gotta have a lot to accomplish.
Yeah.
For sure. To be honest, I don't ever think it's gonna stop, because sometimes I even have a trouble being content about what happens. And I speak with my manager a lot. And he's like, bro, you're faced on a billboard and stuff. Like, we should be celebrating now. And I'm just like in my head about like, oh, I think I could be doing this or could be doing more. And it's like, and I believe gratitude is something super important. So I try to, like, when I'm in the nature and I look at the trees, to just thank life for the present moment and stuff. But I feel like on the business side, I'm always like not content. But I feel that hunger is also what's gonna lead me to where I want to go, because I also always want more, you know. But maybe I want to say maybe once I'll have like once I'll do arenas all around the globe and I'll have like a bigger impact and I'll be able to like have my dream house and stuff. Maybe I'll be like, yo, like I feel like content, but probably not.
Probably not, bro.
Probably not.
That's not how it works, man.
Yeah, I don't think my brain is wired that way.
Yeah, no, there's always more, man.
Yeah.
There's always more. And even with the States, right? Have you been moving around in the United States?
I haven't went there for music yet. My music been played there. It's just we're thinking about building Europe first. So we're gonna go on a little Europe tour this September, this fall. And then after that, maybe we're going to go to the States, because obviously my music plays in the States. It's just such a big market, and it's really expensive to get in the States.
Yeah.
I'm independent. I think I want to stay independent unless I got an incredible deal that's just like undeniable, you know, like you can't deny the undeniable, you know?
Yeah. When if the bag is big enough on the good terms.
And the numbers are right, you know?
Yeah. So
exactly.
You see, the thing is, like, you're coming from Quebec, right?
Yes.
And a lot of people, I was watching a video from Abba and Preach earlier. You know who Abba and Preach is? They're comedians from Montreal.
No,
right?
I don't know.
They do YouTube reaction videos and stuff like that.
Okay.
And they were talking about how Quebec, with the whole Francophone culture and stuff like that, it suppresses a lot of the English stuff that's going on over there. But then there's artists like Kate Trinata, who's huge from over there.
Amazing artist.
Right? And there's different people who come from, there's Knight Lavelle from over there in Ottawa, you know what I'm saying, who's huge.
True.
But a lot of people don't realize that there's big artists coming out of Montreal. What are some of those obstacles to get noticed in Montreal, especially with the Francophone rap being the main thing?
That's the thing, right? Like it's a community in Quebec, and they want to put everything that has to do with the French language up front. You know, they got grants that you can only get if your music is 60% French or more. You got some radio station that will only play you if you're 60% French or more. There's some concerts that you can only do if you're 60% French or more in your music. So there's all that thing. So I'd say to be able to put yourself in there, like first, the fact that French is my first language, it's easy because I can communicate with the people, and I've always been like part of the culture and everything. Because Quebec has like their own culture, because aside of like Canada and stuff, like I remember when I was a kid and I went to Trenton, kids were like, go away, because I would speak French and I was learning English when I was in second grade, and they would just like hate on the French kids, you know, that we were just like set apart a bit. So it's like another culture by itself. But like I'm linking up with artists, big artists in Quebec. Some great friends of mine are doing super well in Quebec, talking arena well in Quebec. So like linking up with some friends like that, I think obviously helps me a lot, and connecting with the communities for sure.
Yeah. Do you get flack from the Francophone community because you rap in English?
No.
Like, yo, why aren't you rapping French, bro? You're a traitor.
No, to be honest, some of them even say, I'm happy that you rap in English, because some people from Quebec like hip-hop, but they don't like Quebec hip-hop. Some people just don't believe in it when they listen to Quebec hip-hop. They're like, I don't. So there's some people that are like, I'm really happy you do it in English. And of course, there's some friend of mine that are more like super Quebec believer that, when are you doing a French song, Simon? But they still love my stuff, you know? They still come to my show, but they're still like, yo, what about a French song? So I'm not saying never. Maybe I'll do one, you know? Just like Celine Dion does some French and some English songs, you know? I think like once you reach like a certain level where it's international, it's just like a gift you can do to this small Quebec culture, that to be like, hey, I'm going to do a French song. It just like, it shows your roots too, you know what I'm saying?
And listen, I'll add on to that, man. With all due respect to the Francophone culture, right?
Yes.
It's good that you rap in English, because I was saying with Ab and Preach, right? Those guys, they both can speak French. Preach is Haitian. Abba can speak fluent French, but they do their comedy in English because in the end of the day, there's going to be a limitation. You're only going to be able to get your music across in Quebec and maybe in France and a few other French-speaking countries. But in English, you can get it worldwide and the places where they speak French.
Exactly. Yeah, the market is way bigger.
Yeah. No, fam. And even with the bigger part, right?
Yes.
What's the big picture like? What's it going to look like when MINDFLIP is at the top of the mountain? Bank accounts looking at like, let's see, maybe about 450 mil. You know what I'm saying? What did you do to get?
I like that. Right? Yeah, that sounds right.
That's a nice, you know, after taxes.
Oh, snap. Okay, that's a whole lot though. Right? Because in Canada, taxes hit different.
Exactly. So now you're sitting on that. That's sitting in the bank. You're at the top of the mountain for you. What did you do in between to get there besides the rapping? Like, what other things do you see yourself doing?
Okay, so a lot more content, you know. I believe I have to start connecting with people through the internet a little bit more. You know, I have to put myself out there, and just like sometimes maybe I'll get someone who films my lifestyle and shows me, because like it's not like a reflex for me to start like filming while I'm sweeping my balcony and doing all those sorts of things. You know, I love to be in the moment and just like enjoy life, you know, but like I'll find a way definitely to get in there and stuff, and just building myself a team, you know. Now I work with Omar, I work with Chantilly, and I think like surrounding yourself with professionals like that obviously is what makes a big difference. And keep pushing the sound that I have in the hip hop, and then joining the two sides that I have, you know, because I have some songs that are a little bit more like the one that I showed you when the Never Let You Down song that you played when we started. I have some songs like Run My, you know, and then I started to realize I could make a hip hop song that has a catchy hook, but that still feels hip hop, you know, that keeps me grounded, like a hip hop gets you grounded, but also gets you super melodic, you know, to another extent. So keep evolving with my sound. So I see myself as to get there, evolving more with my sound, connecting more with people through internet, and putting myself out there on the internet, of course, and then keep expanding the team for sure. And
are you thinking just only of music, maybe some acting, some fashion lines, stuff like that? I love
acting. To be honest with you, I did some funny skits with some friends of mine, and some friends of mine were like, yo, like, that would really work for you. Even some friends told me that before I would make music. They were like, yo, I would see you in acting and stuff like that. And funny enough, my father has it. Like my father, like he's in the military, but like he plays in my music video, and the director is always like, yo, like, your dad could be an actor at this point. Like, and he had no practice, and I have a lot of similarity with my dad. So yes, I would love to dive into acting. You know, it would just be the matter of finding the right role. But yes, I would love to.
Okay. Nah, fam, I'm looking forward to everything that you got coming down the horizon, bro. And you know, with no offense to any other artist, because I interview a lot of artists that I like their music, but I like your music, bro.
Thank you.
So it's always a bonus when I'm interviewing somebody and I'm going to do the research and I'm like, oh, this is nice.
Hey,
this is nice. So
appreciate it.
Keep it up, man.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? What you got coming up next?
So some more singles. I think I'll go for some singles because I'll have a lot of shows, you know, this summer. So I think I'll release singles in between the shows. Yes, that's what I'll do. And mixing up producers. I'm just like, now it's so fun that I can work with a budget and like take a producer that goes like that. Another one that is like like more nasty on the drum, the other one that has a quick workflow, and then merging them together and trying to get like this new sound.
Yeah.
Because like you said, right, when we hear my music, we can hear some influence here and there. My goal is to have so much influence and to be able to mix the producer to get something that is that is unique to the point that there's so many different influences there that you can't even tell anymore where the influences comes from. You're just like, whoa, that's just like, because I think that's what makes music like different from other, like it's impossible to make a music 100% unique because every chords have been done and everything. But
exactly.
It's funny it's nice when there's so much different inspiration that you can't even hear what it is anymore because you're mixing up like 6 flows in the same line.
Yeah.
Just some energy sometimes.
It becomes a whole new sound basically.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I mess with it, fam, and I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Cool.
Give the people your social medias, anywhere where you want them to find you, brother.
So you can just type MINDFLIP. If you type MINDFLIP, you should be able to see me on Spotify, on Apple Music, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook. On Instagram, it's simon.mindflip. But if you type MINDFLIP, it's going to pop up for sure. Yeah, so MINDFLIP.
Dope. MINDFLIP, man. I really enjoyed this conversation we had here,
amazing.
Fam. Like, I watched a few interviews and they were longer ones, but I felt like we got a concise piece of content where we can get to find out about you and the fans can get to know a little bit more about you when they're listening to your music, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Before I get out of here, I gotta pay a couple bills. Big salute to the sponsors at Diamond Club, deliveries all over the GTA. You know what I'm saying? Hit them up on their Instagram, Diamond Club _Canada. Tell them the boy Friday Ricky Dread sent you. They'll give you a little discount. The boy MINDFLIP in the building. I think I'm gonna take us out with the track here, Destined for Greatness.
Thank you.
Oh, before we get out of here.
Yes.
New album on the way? Are we getting enough songs together to get an album?
I think I'll go for some singles right now because I just dropped the EP, and then later on I'll come up with a project.
Okay. Yeah, man. I need something else. After that prequel mixtape that I'm about to play this song from. You know
there you go.
So let's get it. Track is called Destined for Greatness. MINDFLIP in the building. We are off of this.
Woo!
We love hip hop.